Welcome to Talk with Brock While I Walk. I don't know if I'm keeping that. Yeah, this is pretty much just me walking. It's been snowy here in Colorado where I live for a little bit, and now it's a sunny day, so I'm going on a walk, and this is going to be me ranting about a specific topic within catching, within stuff I went through that maybe you guys can use to help you. I honestly just kind of wanted to go on about some things that were some big topics that could help answer a lot of questions that I get asked to me through a lot of you guys through like DMs and things like that. But honestly, it's been kind of put on my heart to talk more about the training aspect of catching, because I think this is one thing that I try and drive home. Obviously, I own an online training business for catchers, how I'm helping them literally go from backups to starters, get that recognition that they deserve, and honestly just help them transform their skills. It's super fulfilling work. I love it because I get to see guys go through a transformation, not only physically, but with their confidence. So I get to see them literally have more confidence as a catcher, become a better leader, and tell me how much more they enjoy the game and how they're able to strive further towards their goals and dreams because of the work that we put in and that they honestly take the leap of faith and invest in. So that's what I do, and that's why I'm so passionate about changing the culture of how we train as catchers, because honestly right now it's a joke. So let's run through this scenario so we understand what we're working with. Right now, your options for catching training, if you want to get better, either you can just work with your club team or your high school team's catching coach. And usually this is what parents want to go with because, right, you're already investing in that club team. So they tell you, well, we have a catching guy, all that. We should not be relying on that. That could help us sharpen our iron over time if we're able to use him for some reps after we've been making progress the other 6 days a week. The issue with a lot of that is you're not able to get one-on-one work. So how do you have a coach invested in you and what you need to be doing better? You know, going over things for a plan for you the other days in the week while you're on your own. Because we can all agree, if we're going to define consistency of if we want to be elite or the best, we need to be doing things every single day. But that's not even just the threshold. We need to be doing things every single day right with proper evaluation. So a little bit about me. I had a cage in my backyard. I didn't really have access to a catching coach. I just kind of did the through my club team, if there was a catching guy. I was blessed at my high school. I had a guy who, he wasn't even a catcher, he just liked catching, and he was a coach, so he would help me out. But it was a lot of me just coming to him with what I think I needed and trying to figure that out. And over time it got extremely hard because I wasn't able to make the progress that I thought I would. I was putting in so many reps in my own backyard, but I wasn't seeing the payoff. Again, I wasn't a bad player. I was still the starter on varsity at a young age and was able to go to play college and pro, which was amazing. I would say the biggest thing that I wish I did differently was investing in a coach who truly had his eyes on me often. That would have taken it away from me having to guess I'm doing things right. Because honestly, and not a lot of us realize this, is if you're doing things on your own and going through that grind, which is awesome, I did it too, and I loved it. But if you're grinding and not doing things the right way and grinding in the right manner with the proper mechanics and fundamentals, you're creating bad habits and you're actually grinding the wrong way. And that's what I fell into with certain attributes. And over time, my skills kind of got passed up. I was always a really good hitter, so I relied on my hitting, and I wish that I focused more on my specific catching skills. I just hope that it makes sense to you, that idea of we can work really, really hard, but if it's not in the right direction, we're actually getting worse. We're not just staying the same, we're getting worse. We need to change the culture of the training, and that's what I'm talking about. Is working with the guy 1 hour a week really getting you better, or is it just something you're throwing money at just to work in that moment? Because what are you actually getting the other 6 days a week outside of your training? It's usually nothing. He's not putting together a plan for you or anything like that. With what you get in an in-person coach, and I have nothing against them. Like, I did in-person coaching. I just think the model for progress is broken for what you're getting and paying. Okay, a lot of guys are charging up to $100 a session right now, and you're getting 1 hour of his time. Like, that blows my mind. I had a family I came from that was totally willing to help invest in my time or invest in my career, and they were willing to give me the best resources possible. But I would feel genuinely bad with knowing what I know now, asking them, can I work with this catching guy for 1 hour a week for that price? I don't think that's a good model for progress and a good usage of money. Now, if you have something that's similar to that price and you're able to work with them all week, that is what you should be looking for. So the biggest thing I'm trying to drive home is most of these three models where either you're doing it by yourself, you're either working with the guy one-on-one in person for 1 hour a week, or you're doing group work once, maybe twice a week. Those are mostly the buckets you guys are gonna fall into. And the biggest thing you're missing with that is knowing what to do each day outside of that. Because again, the majority of the time you're gonna be on your own, and also having that evaluation while you're outside of that. Like, how do we know if we're doing it right? I talk to so many players, and I don't want you guys to fall into this, where they're like, yeah, well, I just, I do my own throwdowns and I go through stuff I find on social media. And that's a scary route because a lot of these coaches, and I do it too, they're posting specific drills that are only a small piece of a progression that they're putting out there. And it's a very, very specific manner in how you need to go about it. There's specific evaluation to that coach who's using that drill to how to implement it. And you're just throwing that drill in there and honestly just kind of throwing a piece of dog crap at the wall and hoping it sticks. And that is going to hurt your confidence over time because you're going to grind and wonder, why is this not paying off? Why am I not that good? And it's because you were grinding 100%, but you weren't doing it in the right way. That is what I'm trying to drive home here. So wherever you fall into those 3 buckets, that's why I like to tell people about what I do so you can work with me each day. I can give you your daily custom plan. That's the first thing I do. And then the second one is the evaluation. So then I can go actually coach you, send you that evaluation back whenever you upload the video. Third one is the community. We got a bunch of guys in the community. I built this full of learning modules, really cool stuff. And then the last one is just access to me if you need a one-on-one call, things like that. Again, I try and give you so many resources. Let's talk more about training versus school, like actual classroom school that you go to and how they're similar. So one of the biggest things that points I like to bring up is the amount of subjects at school we have to do that we don't even like, that we put up with, because again, we have to. You got to get the good grades to play 100%. But that is something that we don't even care about, and we're able to put in the work. And look at the model of that. You go to a teacher every day, maybe every other day, depending on what your schedule is, and then they give you homework to do on your own, and then they evaluate that homework the next day. That's the exact model that makes progress. And that's why it's such a boring topic like math. You actually learn math, and you're able to make progress in that area in something you don't even care about. So imagine if we took that model for catching, how much better you would be, how much further along you would be because you actually care about it and we're working on things each day. I just think why I get so passionate about this stuff when I'm talking about it and why I wanted to create a solution is because with my own personal story, I went to 4 different colleges and I bounced around a lot. I transferred. I was able to play out all of them, meaning I got playing time at each of them. But I learned a lot in that experience from multiple different catching coaches. After I was done with college, I was able to get a contract, play indie ball. I was able to bullpen catch with the Rangers, which was just such a cool experience. Learned from a lot of their catching coaches at the highest level. One thing I realized is these pro style coaches are able to put things into terms for a higher level catcher and an adult who understands different things. So if you were to work with the highest level catching coach, you know, from the best team in the MLB, it's going to be really hard to understand him as a high school, college guy, or even younger than that, because he doesn't necessarily know how to put it into terms for someone who has your body type or your age and doesn't understand the progression that well. And that's what I think separates me. That's why I spend so much time working with guys, trying to give them the highest level progressions, ideas, philosophies, but being able to put it in terms that they understand. That's a huge one too. I would say be careful of who you're watching on Instagram, who you're looking for, because it's not necessarily intended just for you. If you're watching, you know, Yachty work with the coach on throwdowns and they're just doing a small drill, something that doesn't look too crazy, that's not the answer to your question. That's the answer to something he's working on. And again, he's so good at everything else that they have to attack it in a different manner. For a lot of high school guys, especially with where the game's at and how it has evolved, there's a different plan of attack and it requires a longer process while chopping things up. When you get older, you're able to just find a piece you're messing up on within, like, let's say blocking, and insert there and work on that, and then you're going to see progress. For a lot of you guys, you're most likely needing to work on the whole thing and do that day by day. So that's probably my biggest thing I would watch out for if you're just scrolling on Instagram. I did that same thing. I'm 24 years old, so I graduated in 2018 from high school, and right around that time is when Instagram was like popping off with catching content. It just started is what I mean. I would like DM a lot of like minor league guys, a lot of big league dudes, a lot of catching coaches, and I like never heard back. But I was just asking for free stuff. Like, hey, can you go over this video? Why would they do that? Like, what do they gain? And honestly, I realized it's not even gonna help me because I'm asking for their evaluation once on one tiny piece of my game. He has no context of what else I'm good at. He has no context of what I've struggled at. He doesn't know where my confidence is. Again, you can think you're the best blocker in the world, but I go over your video and your mechanics say otherwise. Just don't ask for free tips. I'm begging you. They're not going to do anything. It's going to waste everyone's time. And if you're not willing to invest, then you need to go search deeper for what you want to do and what you truly are looking for, because just one tip isn't going to cut it. It's honestly a waste of the coach's time too. He's not going to prioritize you because he's working with guys who are actually paying him. So it's going to be tough if I sit here on Instagram and just try and go back and forth with so many kids of helping them. It's very, very hard. And even if my heart wants to help all you guys, which I 100% do, but I want to help you when you realize that you need help. I do believe that we can't lie about the numbers in progress and how you need to be doing things every single day. Now, here's kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about within training, why we don't prioritize our catching training. And we're in such a unique time within the game, specifically for catching. The position is one of the only positions, I would say, argue, along with pitching, that has evolved the most. Guys with pitching are constantly throwing harder, so that's technically how it's evolving. But watch your favorite catcher from 2010, or even 2015, they caught way different, okay? And it's not that it was bad, it's just now it's evolved to a more efficient, better way with this one knee down stuff and being good with it in all scenarios, all stances, no matter what. So that goes to my question of why are we not training even harder every single day to get as good as they are while the game has just changed? I'm not saying throw out primary, secondary stances, absolutely not. Honestly, those are a good base for you to be elite at all the attributes there. And then one knee will feel easier for things like receiving, blocking. For most guys with throwing, going on a knee, feels worse because your sequencing is different. You actually have less time you have to move. So you have more time technically, but the one knee down is going nowhere and it's only evolving. It's only getting to a place where catchers look more comfortable, closer to the ground, even with the runners on. And if you can't do that at the level you're at, what makes you think you're just going to get to, hopefully a D1 or big school or anywhere in college and just figure it out? When those catching coaches want you to come in as a dog, they don't want you to come in and need one-on-one time. That's just the cold hard truth about when you get to that next level. That is for you to invest in probably right now so you can get good before that stuff. Understand the concepts. When you're there, you can show out and prove to the coach you're a starting catcher, because it's not just about getting to the college level, it's about playing there. So again, the point I'm trying to drive home is even big leaguers are evolving and they're working so hard to make sure they're efficient at all these things with where the game's at. And you mean to tell me you're just doing group work or things on your own? I almost feel bad. Like, I don't want you to think you're going to get to that next level and be the best catcher ever when you're just doing the bare minimum, because that's what we're told is good enough. And it's really not. I mean, find your own truth. I think it's very, very important to reflect, do your own thinking on where am I? I think too many players are also delusional and they think they're really good at where they're at right now. And they're like, well, yeah, I just don't know why my coach doesn't play me. Or maybe you get playing time, but you're not getting those offers yet. There's a reason for that. That is the truth I wish someone told me. If you're not where you want to be, there's a reason, okay? If you want to find that, you want to get on a call with me, I have my booking link below. You can schedule a time, we can get on a call and go through some stuff. I hope you're able to search your own soul, search your own situation, and honestly figure out what you truly need and determine if you're ready to submit to the idea that there's someone out there who can help you and dedicates all of his time to helping players like you. Just keep working hard, man. Keep going. Work hard in the right direction and just have fun in this game, okay? Don't take it too serious. But if your dream requires for you to do big things and go far, then your training is gonna require that as well. This is Coach Brock. Peace.